Oh, another exciting Tuesday. Boy, oh boy. Last Tuesday, my internet completely just completely let me down. Um, it was terrible on Wednesday too, but I spent a lot of time last Tuesday getting equipment, getting cords. So I am now hooked into my internet down the hall. Problem solved, right? Then this week I decided instead of using StreamYard, I stream too much and for the free version. And so they wanted me to pay a lot of money to use their software. And I realized I could just, go live via YouTube. Except here's the thing. It's I messed it up. Basically, here's the thing. I messed it up. I messed up the scheduling, and it is almost like it's a for someone who's unfamiliar with it. It's a barely perceptible difference in setting it up one of two ways. Now I totally get it. Now I see what I did wrong. Super easy fix. But when I set all of these up over the weekend, before I knew that, had no idea I was doing it wrong till I went to start it this morning, and I was like, So now I was 7 minutes late because the link that I had set up not gonna work. So exciting. And so I'm pretty tired this morning, and my brain is like, why is it always with the Tuesday problem solving when we're barely awake? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. So I really thought that I had this figured out. Anyway, exciting times. Every time something like that goes wrong, you learn so much, right? You learn how to avoid it in the future. And some days you're like, I just don't feel like learning today. This is not, yeah. The nice thing about StreamYard is that it saves you all of this nonsense. It's very automated, but it's expensive. So, yeah, maybe I'll consider Zoom or something like that. But anyway, that's a question for another time, and I don't have the answer to that right now. And I certainly am not going to have time before this weekend to figure it out. And so let us wait no longer. Let us hop into this first sprint. I don't have, because of the limitations of using YouTube to go live, I cannot share a screen with a fancy schmancy timer. Also, this is hilarious. When you go live, I need to check my YouTube page. When you go live immediately with YouTube, it goes, you're like clicking your settings, and it's like, smile for the camera, smile for the thumbnail. And I was like, what? Boom. And so there's this thumbnail of me like looking at the screen like that. I went and I was like, nope, we're not gonna keep that as the thumbnail. So I went into settings to try and change that, and I clicked save. The saved image didn't show up, but I know sometimes there's, a little bit of a pause. Oh, hurrah! It did save. I'm seeing it now live on my channel. I was like, well, I really hope on my channel it's not just a picture of me looking at the screen confused. So anyway, in this non-StreamYard world in which I'm living at the moment, we use this. We use a phone timer. I have a friend who often says she's on the struggle bus. I don't think I've ever actually said that myself, but that is an apt statement for me today. We shall overcome. I just don't know if this is going to work. It needs to be right here. But this is where I need to be to work on my things. So, oh, guys. Okay. Wow. This is what StreamYard banks on. StreamYard banks on how annoying this is. And they're like, you'll be back. We know you'll be back. Okay. I have stuff to do. So we're just gonna go with it as is. Super lo-fi. I'm gonna mute myself 10 minutes. There we go. You can watch it backwards. Let's go ahead and get something done. It's a very gentle timer. I'm going to pull up a YouTube video timer instead because my phone will go dark. Okay. What are you working on this morning now that we've gotten into everything? I am in a season now of of really getting ahead with my podcast, which is called Making Your Impact, a podcast to inspire and equip you to pursue your calling and make a positive difference in the world. Let's see. I had been on a hiatus since last fall, and the first new episode of the season went out last week, and I am working now on getting ahead on episodes, and these morning live streams have been just like supremely helpful with that. It's been amazing, the amount of work that I've been able to get done on them, just like a little bit at a time. So right now it's a StreamYard ad. I'm going to find a better way to do this because this current setup is just not working for me. Because my phone is in this little dealio, I can't mute the ads. So we're just going to do our best. But it's not going to stay like this because it is not good enough for you and it's not good enough for me. But we're going to do what we can today to make it through. Yeah, I'm working ahead on podcast episodes, and I made really good progress. I completed an entire episode. I mean, I had a lot of work done on it already, but I got that totally done yesterday during the morning live streams. And I think that I should come pretty close to that with the one I'm working on now, at least the actual audio editing and scheduling the episode. I do not have a photo for it yet. It's actually the second anniversary episode of the podcast. And so I want to take like a fun special pic for it. I haven't done so quite yet. But that's a much easier part than the actual creation of the episode. So if you are interested in letting me know in the comments what you are working on, I would sure love to hear. Otherwise, let's just go ahead. I'm going to do, so on mornings, I do a 10-minute, 2 25-minute blocks, and then end with a 10-minute one just to kind of help us wrap up some stuff. So here we go. It's our first 25-minute block of the morning. I'll see you in 25 minutes. Wow. Once again, that totally caught me off guard. I went really fast. Elizabeth, are you working on your cozy drafts this morning? I think yesterday you were working on some social media posts. So what you got cooking over there this morning? I got really close to basically I was just a couple minutes away from getting this podcast episode uploaded. Good morning, Sako. How are you this morning? What are you working on today? Really, just a couple more minutes and I will have this episode finished, the actual audio part, get it all set up for a few weeks from now. And then, yeah, I think I might, gosh, I'm not sure what I will do with the rest of the time. Well, I have a list. I shall consult my list. And I've been trying out a bullet journal for the first time this year. I'd heard about them. And I decided to give it a try. And I've been doing it consistently since January. I had to kind of get into it, find my rhythm and the best way to make it work for me. But I've enjoyed it because it has helped me to incorporate things like I do weekly objectives. So I have personal ones, ones for my business, and then one for my full-time job. There's more objectives for that than anything else. But I've liked it. So it's good because I can consult it at a time, such as this. Oh my gosh, Sako, I didn't even see it. She's working on her bullet journal right now. I love the term bujo. I like a good shortening. I like a good portmanteau, and bujo is like the perfect combination of both. That's so funny. Okay, working on your bujo to figure out what you're actually working on today. And then Elizabeth says, working on 2 cozy drafts this morning, as is your way. Made some headway on where there's a will. That's funny because I just said, as is your way, and then where there's a will, there's a way. What's happening this morning? All kinds of just like positive vibes. 633 words. That's fantastic. Where there's a will. I'm actually a lawyer for real. And so I really enjoy where you are, where I assume you are going with where there's a will. It was long ago that I took my Decedents, Estates, and Trusts class. And it was maybe, of all of my law school classes, the most relatable. One sec. Because I feel like you go into a lot of classes, especially at the beginning, and you're like, I don't really have a frame of reference for this. But if you've ever dealt with anything with wills, then you have like an automatic frame of reference for it. That is long ago, my friend. Oh, Elizabeth says bullet journals seem really cool. It's a homemade planner in a composition notebook. I mean, that's very similar. Like that's essentially what it is for me. Now, I don't get fancy with mine. You watch some bullet journal videos on YouTube and these amazing artists create the most beautiful journals, like bullet journals. And they put a lot of time into the design, which I think is so great, but I do not have A, the patience, or B, the skill for that. So mine is just very simple. This was the first one I had. I just decided I was going to do it this year, and I happened to have a journal with all just completely blank pages, which is nice for the bullet journal. But really having like either a dot page system or a grid page system is helpful for me for creating even lines. This first one I did, this is just a mess because I didn't know what I was doing. I've got fully X'd out days in here. Oh, I just saw one. Oh shoot. Well, it's an X'd out day. You don't really need the visual example. But I would start a new month and forget things from the past month. Oh, screwed it up. I wrote LOL, still getting used to the format of this thing. I wrote that note to myself. It's okay, self. It's okay. We're just getting used to it. But yeah, it's a real mess. But then, yeah, when I was getting ready for April, I kind of knew what I was doing. So I transferred like my yearly tracker stuff, goals, stuff like that over to this one. And I've been working on it the past couple of weeks. This is as artsy as I get. Are you ready for this? I saw a design on Instagram where people make like a light bulb looking thing, but then they put other stuff in it. I was like, that's cool. I can handle that. April, it doesn't look like a light bulb at all. I mean, sort of. Listen, I'm not a visual artist, you all, but I still really enjoyed drawing this. The best one was the one I did in March. I doubt that I will ever be able to do it again. Ta-da! Behold, the best piece of art I probably have ever done or ever will do. It's all about your own enjoyment, though, right? Elizabeth says, I was an English major and everyone thought I would go into law. Oh, yeah. I was a French major, Elizabeth. But when I was in high school, I did debate and speech stuff. That was like my life, and everyone thought I would become a lawyer as well. Then I went the nonprofit route. And so it's not my full-time work, but it definitely comes in handy a lot. And Sako says, I use interesting fonts. Are you able to do those by hand, Sako? Or do you like print it? I'm guessing you mean by hand, right? Yeah, because you're like an artist. You do graphic design and stuff. Yes, I can't do interesting fonts myself, but I think that's really cool. Thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. I'm stretching myself. I'm just having fun. All right. We've been chatting long enough about bullet journals. I do like talking about that kind of thing, but let's go ahead and get into our next 25-minute one. So there'll be, this 25-minute one, and then we'll wrap up with a 10-minute. Let's get started now. It was lovely chatting with the both of you, though. All right, we'll let our little tune start us off. Hello. How was your sprint? Oh boy. Oscar, very glad to see you here. I've had that happen too, where I feel like I'm pretty sure I have like a notification for something that doesn't go off, especially feels like the first time or two. For some reason, it doesn't go off, but glad to see you here nonetheless. Um, I did get my episode. This is actually an episode for the third week of April. So everything is scheduled through the third week of April. It's so motivating to start making progress now. What I need to do though, I need to start recording new episodes that I have written up. So I guess that's what I'll be doing the next few days. I guess that will be strange, but that's okay. I will be sitting here basically with this little setup, little tripod, recording into my phone, new podcast episodes. Why not do that while I'm live streaming, huh? Then during the rest of my time, I did some shifting around of things, subscriptions, and I think while StreamYard is definitely the best for streaming to YouTube, I think I'm going to try Zoom because Zoom I can use for more things, right? Having a paid instead of a free Zoom account is useful in so many different ways. Whereas StreamYard is really just for one purpose and it's also less expensive. And I have streamed to YouTube through Zoom before, and at least I'm familiar with it. So I think that's what I'm going to try for tomorrow. I need to redo all of the streams that I scheduled anyway. A whole new world, as Jasmine and Aladdin sang to us, getting things figured out so I can do this sustainably and also cost effectively. Let's see. Elizabeth says she got 876 words on Death of a Suitor and backed your work up to the cloud, which is a most excellent use of time, that backing up for sure. Yeah, I'm a month ahead on the podcast. I'm so happy. I think we talked about this, Elizabeth, right? Getting ahead on things is just one of my favorite things. Zoom will eliminate this happening as well. Yeah, I just love getting ahead on stuff. It's so much more motivating to me to keep working on something if I am ahead. It helps me to feel not quite so overwhelmed. All right. Well, I guess I will use these last 10 minutes, this one last sprint, to keep looking into getting my live streams ready for the rest of this week. So without further ado, let's head into this last one. It'll start us off. Oh, there it did. All right, that wraps us up for the day. During that sprint, I got my Zoom account all set up again. And it's going to take a few steps. I have all the instructions for connecting it to my YouTube live streams all pulled up on my computer. It doesn't look, I mean, it'll be pretty easy to do. I knew that I wouldn't have enough time in that 10-minute block to get all of that set up. So I didn't bother doing that quite yet, but I'll do that later today and get that all figured out. So this whole system of my phone being backwards, hopefully this will be the last day for that. Sacco signed up for Camp Nano. Nice. That starts April 1st, right? I know. I've been seeing posts about it here and there. I just saw an Instagram post for like, how did they put it? NaNoWriMo? Finish your novel, Rimo? It must have been from NaNoWriMo's account. And I was like, oh man, I love doing NaNoWriMo. I don't think I'll be in the position to do it, this spring, this year. I would like to in July. We'll see how July goes, but definitely in November. So that's great. Congratulations, Sacco. I hope it's super productive for you. I have so many questions. Are you going to be editing something? I don't know if you'll get a chance to edit these before or to comment before we wrap up. Are you editing or are you writing something new for Camp Nano? And Elizabeth said that she scheduled social media during that one. Oh, that's always so good to get off your plate. Seems so easy, but it's pretty time consuming. So I'm so glad that you were able to get that accomplished. You're very welcome. Thank you, Elizabeth and Sacco and Oscar, if you're here, and whoever else is joining us. Thank you so much for being here today. Oh, and we got a response from Sacco, working on draft 2. Nice. I hope that goes well for you. All right, I need to wrap up and transition into a busy work day. So all of you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll be back here tomorrow. And I will have better technology. I hope and I pray. Have a wonderful day, everyone.